What's going on everyone? You're back with your boy Jono for another quick math lesson. Today we're going to learn how to multiply fractions and we're going to visualize it first before we work out how to do it every single time. The best thing about multiplying fractions is you don't have to learn any more skills. As long as you can multiply two numbers together, you're going to find this lesson incredibly easy. So we're going to start with something like this, a quarter multiplied by a third. And this intuitively doesn't make that much sense. We've been dealing with whole numbers with multiplication for as long as we can remember, so multiplying two fractions together doesn't make that much sense. What we're going to do is look at it as a picture first so we can see where the actual formula or the steps come from. So as long as we can draw a square, we're going to get these questions correct. For this visualization, I'm going to start with a quarter. That's the pink square out of the four squares I've got. Then because I'm multiplying it by a third, I'm going to break up every single quarter into thirds. I'm going to have a third here, a third here, a third here, and a third here. In each third, I'm getting 1/3. So I'm going to color in each 1/3 for every quarter. So I know this is getting a little bit confusing, but we've got our quarters and then 1/3 of each one. So what I've got to do is work out how many of these total slices, the 12 slices that I've got, are pink and blue. And I can see that there's only one of those, the very top left one. So I've got one out of the 12 fractions. So the answer to this multiplication is 1/12. This also works for numbers that are a little bit harder. That last one was a quarter and a third. What happens if they're harder numbers up top? This one I've got 3/4 multiplied by 2/3. Again, with that visualization, I've got 3 pink squares out of 4, and then I'm going to multiply these by 2/3. So that, again, the first step I've got to do is break each of my quarters into thirds, and then color in 2 of those 3 for 2/3. Again, all I've got to do is count up the ones that are pink and blue. I've got 6 of those out of the 12 things that I had to start off. This means I've got 6/12, which is the same as a half. So all I'm saying for this multiplication is 3/4 multiplied by 2/3 is equal to 1/2. We don't want to draw a square every time we have to do one of these multiplications. That's going to be way too much work. You might have already seen the shortcut, and it is pretty cruisy. All we've got to do is multiply the top and then multiply the bottom, just separately. Top, then bottom. The only thing you do have to remember is you have to simplify your answer at the end, otherwise you will lose a mark. So all we need to know is our times tables and to do it twice. Happy days. So if I have a look at this one, I've got 5/6 multiplied by 3/4. All I've got to do is multiply the top, multiply the bottom, and then simplify. 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and then 6 times 4 is equal to 24. 15/24 will get me 1 mark, but I can simplify this. These are both part of the 3 times tables. So this becomes 5/8. So there are my 2 marks. 1 for multiplying the top, multiplying the bottom, and then 1 for the simplification. That's all these questions are. It's incredibly easy. Times, times, done. Then we even get ones where it's less work, where we don't have to do any simplification whatsoever. This one I've got 7/9 multiplied by 2/3. Times the top times the bottom, that's 14/27. These don't have a common factor between them, so this is the fully simplified answer. That's all you've got to do. 14/27, full marks, done. So the big 2 takeaways for this lesson is you just have to be a multiplication champ, because all you've got to do is times the top times the bottom. If you're not 100% on top of your times table, please take the time to get really good at it, because it'll just mean less work for this topic. Then you just have to remember to simplify your answers. Being really good at times tables helps for that as well, but these are the only 2 skills you need. Thanks so much for watching this lesson, and I'll see you later.